This is interactive advanced concept presentation number 6. Today we're going to be doing the pasta rocket. So we have mason jar, the metal lid with the hole in it, hydrogen peroxide, active yeast, pasta, and a lighter. So my mason jar is a little bit bigger than what is probably necessary, so I'm just going to do a little bit more of the hydrogen peroxide in the yeast, just to make sure that it builds up enough pressure in the mason jar. So what's going to happen is the hydrogen peroxide and the yeast are going to react together, and it's going to cause a lot of pressure to build up in the jar, and the pasta will be sitting on top of this hole, and we're going to hold fire to the top of the pasta, and it should light and it becomes a rocket. So what's actually happening here is the hydrogen peroxide, it has extra oxygen molecules in it, so when the dry yeast is reacting with it, those extra molecules of the O2 just kind of take off, and that causes the bubbles, which builds up the pressure, and then that pressure comes through and the gas comes through this little hole, which will go straight through the pasta, so it lines right up. So add a decent amount of hydrogen peroxide. Okay, that's 1 cup, so let's see if that works. We have our yeast. Okay. Ready to 1/2 tablespoons. Okay. So now we put this lid on. It's starting to bubble a little bit around the edges. We're gonna hold this lid down for a second and we're gonna give it a little shake. Okay. I'm gonna put the pasta on top and try to light it on fire. Ooh, oopsies. Oh. Okay, so maybe I added too much yeast. I was just trying to compensate for the size of the jar, but maybe I didn't need to do that so much. The pasta was definitely going to shoot up, but I moved and it fell over. So there's definitely a lot of excess here. Let's try it again. I don't know if it'll work, but there's still quite a few bubbles down at the bottom. Yeah, I think that's about, I think that was gonna be the end of it. It definitely was gonna shoot up, but then it fell over. Obviously, I did a little too much, but it still worked a little bit, and it was definitely cool. It even lifted the metal lid up, so there was definitely a very strong reaction in there, and it's still bubbling a little bit. There's quite a few bubbles in there. But this was our interactive advanced concept presentation number 6, the pasta rocket, and it wasn't really a success, but I think we still got all the components of the reaction.